Okay, this is our August 10th policy meeting. We'll call it to order. Start with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everybody still there?
I'm still here.
Okay. Let's do a roll call. I don't know who all we have. Kimberly,
Here.
Joel.
Here, and I am not a voting committee member.
Oh, that's right. Marcus
Here.
and Scott could not make it today. So it's just Kimberly, Marcus, and I.
Yeah, both Scott and then Joe Vieira is also, I believe, a voting member, and he is out of town as
Joe
well.
is right. Can we get a motion for approval of the July 13th Policy Review Committee meeting minutes?
Marcus, I think this is going to be you and me, every other one.
Yes, it is.
I will move to approve the minutes from our last meeting as presented.
We have a second.
I second.
Kimberly,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
and I am a yes. Okay, our first policy to review is DLB payroll deductions. Does anybody have any issues with this one?
Hold on, let me get there. Does anybody know what page that's on?
It's
Getting there as well.
Let's see.
Yep.
And please note that we do have Anna Logan, our CFO, joining us to advise on any of these policies related to financial procedures, as well as Leland Bliss and Lindsay Price, as we have a couple of transportation policies, as well as safety policies as well.
And I just have one thing to note on this policy when you're ready.
I still need to know what page it's on.
It says 1 or 3.1 down in the
Yeah.
bottom corner.
3.1. I'm on my other screen, and so I'm having a hard time scrolling through.
Page 11.
I am there. Okay. I didn't have anything on this one.
No.
Anna, you did?
I don't have anything to recommend. I just want you to notice on line 8 where it talks about, it references both tax sheltered annuity and deferred compensation. In a couple of the following policies, I think we need to make sure that both of those things are mentioned, just like it is in this one.
Okay, noted. Okay, the next one is DLB AR1, which
Good.
has the exact same statutes as the previous.
The idea behind this one is that we don't end up with dozens of vendors that we have to set up in our system and set up deductions for, etc. So it basically makes it so that if you are a vendor and you have enough enrollees, then you can be you can work with the school district on this. I do have a couple of proposed changes.
Okay.
So in line 2, where it says in order to be added as a tax sheltered annuity vendor, I would propose we say in order to be added as a tax sheltered annuity or deferred compensation vendor.
Okay.
Then my second proposal would be in line 3 there's 2 sentences on line 3. One of them right after the period. It starts to talk about if enrollment decreases to 0. I think we need an intermediate step where we say something like, if enrollment decreases to 5 or less employees, no new enrollees will be permitted for that vendor. The reason is because we have several kind of ancient ones that maybe only have 1 or 2 people, that they're not really plans that, I mean, I can't recommend any plans to employees, but from what I've been told, experts who look at these things, they say they're not really good for employees. So we don't really, if they're plans where they've dropped down to where there's hardly anybody in those plans, it'd be nice to just be able to kind of let those roll off eventually.
Okay.
Okay, let's put that aside then, so we can add those changes.
We do have a couple of low cost TSA and deferred comp vendors that offer employees a lot of kind of control over their own retirements, and they're kind of high visibility names, and they're companies that are really easy to work with when you leave the organization. They make it easy for you to transition to something else. So I don't think we need to have a lot of these vendors.
So this would be one that, Kevin, I think we're saying is we'll just pull it. So Tammy will assign it to you, and then it will come back at a future one with the proposed changes.
Okay, so I would then just suggest what that wording would
Yeah.
be. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna set that aside for further review. The next is DLBA, advanced salary payments. Any issues with this one?
Just a title where it says Director of Business and Finance that needs to be changed to Chief Financial Officer.
I had that one too, Anna.
Good job.
That is in a lot of policies then.
Yeah. Yeah, we're starting to catch that as many as we can to
Okay.
update.
Okay.
Otherwise, this policy works fine for every day.
I
It's not
believe-
every day, but
I believe if it's just something like that, the committee in the past has been good just recommending that one go through with that one change.
Okay,
Do you need a motion
Okay.
for that?
we can do them as we go or at the end. It's kind
Okay.
of difficult to do at the end unless we remember which ones we want to change. So if you want to make a motion now, and we'll just be done with it.
Marcus, it's your turn.
I move to move policy DLBA with the title change for board adoption.
We have a second.
I'll second that.
Marcus,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. We'll move to policy DLC, expense reimbursements.
I don't have anything on this one.
Neither did I.
My only question on this one, and I just had as a note, is Anna, it looks like you approve them, right?
Approve.
Same all at no time.
Oh, in line 11, 10 and 11.
Yeah, the authorization of the superintendent or district financial officer. I was wondering if you wanted it to be, but like, do you ever get in a weird spot where you want like someone to also review it, or is it working as it is?
It's working because they have to have a PO anyway, and if they've got a PO, then that means
the
I've
principal.
approved it.
Okay, awesome.
So do we need to change that though to Chief Financial Officer?
It doesn't hurt. It's fine as is, or it'd be fine if you changed it.
I think to be consistent though.
I like consistency.
So then I'll move policy DLC expense reimbursements to board for approval with that one change.
We have a second.
Second.
Kimberly,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Move to policy DM, cash in district buildings.
It's pretty vague, but I'm assuming that's on purpose.
I feel like we have a petty cash policy somewhere else that
Oh,
talks about
Yeah, we do.
holding petty cash for change and for money collected, and this policy may be either redundant or just completely not needed.
mm-hmm.
Both, I guess. So if you want, I can check that. Is that petty cash? So the petty cash was on tonight's board agenda, but it has been taken off and put on one of the next policy committees. So we could review those together at the same time.
Perfect.
Okay. We'll set that one aside.
Okay.
Policy DN, disposal of district property.
Oh, I had a couple minor things that I would propose. In line 10, where it says private grant funds, I propose a comma after funds. Super minor, but it makes that sentence read a lot easier.
I agree.
And then in line 11, where it says made as outlined in, I think it would be more appropriate to say made as required by.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's not outlined in the grant itself, but sometimes it's outlined in some other federal document or something, but it's still required by that grant.
Very good.
Anything else on this? Okay, do we have a motion then to approve
Motion
with
to
those
move
changes?
move policy DN with the few punctuation and word changes that Anna mentioned to the board.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Marcus,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Move to policy DZ, post-issuance compliance for tax-exempt government bonds.
So this policy it comes into play if we issue tax exempt bonds, which usually, if we pass a bond measure, it's usually a tax exempt bond. So there's all these rules about how we have to manage that money as it comes in. And that's what this outlines. And my recommendation would just be to re-adopt it as it is, because OSBA would give us, if there's any changes that would require us to make a change to this, OSBA, I'm assuming, would tell us. And then when we pass a bond next, we will look at this policy again.
Okay. I have some grammatical things. So on page 24, line 52, where it says in general, there's a period after that. Where's Scott when I need him? Because he cares about this stuff. There's no period at the end of any of the other titles. So I think we need to get rid of that period.
Okay.
Does this one move on to page 25? Yes. Okay, so page 25, line 114. I wrote down, okay, so at the end of line 114, the needs to be capitalized.
You made me realize there's a title change needed in
Yeah,
that.
there's two of them in that paragraph, the Director of Business and Finance, the CFO.
Maybe Tammy could just do a find and replace for everything in that policy.
Kimberly, good grammar catches.
Oh, wait, hold on, we're not done. Let's see. I have line 132 where it starts that sentence in addition. That needs to be capital. Moving on to page 26, line 145. The sentence that starts with such needs to be capitalized. And then I said line 147, the sentence starting with the word other needs to be capitalized. Line 151, the needs to be capitalized and needs to be changed to the chief financial officer. And then I just said line 157, but I did not write why. But it should be the chief financial officer anyway. I think it was because that was capitalized and it wasn't anywhere else. The director of business and finance.
And there's weird capitalization all throughout that sentence, right?
Yeah, bond is capitalized. I just didn't know if it was like a subtitle,
Yeah.
is why it was that way.
Yeah, I know that the word bond needs to be capitalized. Or I believe it, yeah, because at the beginning it's defined, and so
Hmm.
keeping it capitalized keeps it referenced to that definition.
Makes sense.
But yeah, just that word bond. Anytime that word bond is in there, it needs to be capitalized.
Like throughout the whole policy,
Mm-hmm.
then that's
If
lots of errors then.
if it's referring to, it's kind of like the word board, like board of directors isn't capitalized unless you're talking about the board, and then
Oh,
it's capitalized.
okay.
So it's kind of,
Okay.
sometimes it's capitalized and sometimes it's not.
Okay, that probably needs to be scrutinized then throughout this
Okay.
policy. So I don't know if we just want to push this one off to the side until it's like looked at from grammatical errors.
There was a bunch in there.
And I can review it for when the word bond needs to be capitalized and when it doesn't, in
Okay.
addition to those other things that need to be capitalized, guidelines and issuer and things like that.
Okay.
Okay,
It could be because it's not like substantive or content changes, it's just grammatical stuff. You guys could theoretically vote to move it to the board with the grammatical changes updated.
Do we want to look at it again just to have more eyes on it, or
It's not a bad idea.
I don't think it hurts to just bring it back.
Okay.
okay, we'll set that aside. Our next policy is policy EB, safety program.
So I don't have any recommendations for any changes to that policy. It's pretty accurate.
Okay. Anybody else? We get a motion?
Yeah, I will move to promote policy EB safety program to the board for adoption.
We have a second.
Second.
I hear background. Is somebody asking a question?
Second.
Kimberly,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Next policy, EBAC, Safety Committee.
Okay, same thing on that one. That's accurate. That's pretty much exactly what we're doing.
Okay. You have a motion.
Motion to move EBAC to the board for approval.
Have a second.
I'll second that.
Marcus,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Next policy is EBAC-AR1, Safety Committee and Safety Committees.
I found no recommendations to change on this one as well.
Okay, so I will move to push admin regulation EBAC-AR1 to the board for adoption.
We have a second.
Second.
Kimberly,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Next policy is EBBA, First Aid.
So I don't like the font. It's not at all consistent with the others.
Did change. Tammy, is that assembly thing?
I'll go in and look at that. It might have happened when I converted it from a Word to a PDF. So, but I'll go in and look and see if I can clean that up.
Okay, and then also line 5. In cases of sudden illness or injury to a student or staff member, first aid will be given by school staff. Why does it define who gives first aid? It might not be school staff. And then on line 9, each principal is charged with providing for the immediate care of ill or injured persons within their area of control. Why?
Good question.
So if somebody's hurt, you're not going to say, are you a staff member? Only you can help. Or are you the principal? Only you can help. Like, I just think this one's weird.
We could pull it and work with our school nurses to see if there's some law, like where this wording comes from. It's probably OSBA language, but yeah, it might be worth pulling and digging into.
And then there was
Okay.
something else. Hold on. There was something
Yep.
else on line 19. Oh, where it says people who hold first aid and CPR cards, and then names of designated employees will be posted. Is that a thing?
I believe that was in one of the OARs as a mandatory posting of. Let me look and see if I can see which one.
If that's the case, I think we need to make
Yeah,
sure everybody knows that's practice then.
yeah.
I can't be sure which OAR it was, but I think there was something
Well,
about posting.
I think we're pulling this one anyway, so maybe we
Yeah.
can.
We
Okay.
can check on that. Okay.
Okay.
Let's pull it. The next policy is EBBAA, infection control and bloodborne pathogens.
I had something here.
I did have a problem with this, whereas I could not find OAR 581-053-0517-13CE. I could not find it. And we reference it.
Hmm. Probably should dig into that then too. I also on line 10, where it says bloodborne pathogens 2, that's a footnote, but the way that 2 is doesn't look like a footnote. And then there was something on line 9. It says, line 9, in handbook required post in the building. I don't know what my notes mean on this one, sorry.
Yeah,
So
this
just
one's worth pulling and cleaning up, though.
Did we want to pull this one?
Yes.
Okay, let's pull it. Next policy, ECAC, video surveillance. There are several ORS that have been renumbered. Actually, too many to list, but starting with ORS 192.420, and then on and on 5.505, 0.435, all renumbered in 2017. And it goes all the way to 192.480. So I think we better take a look and renumber those correctly.
And Tammy, in our notes, let's just send this to OSBA to say your numbers are wrong.
And then on line 7, Joel, I'm curious, the phrase of the choice of superintendent, appropriate by the superintendent. I mean, I don't think you're approving our cameras and where we put them and whatnot. I don't know if that affects anything.
Yeah, in a weird way, actually, Eric and I meet over cameras all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
putting in where we're adding them to like the elementary playgrounds, for example, that's been so it does kind of align in a sense.
Okay.
Then I was just, I mean, it must be a thing. I just didn't ever think about a video recording may become part of a student's educational record or a staff member's personnel record. I've never, I guess, thought about that before. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
think about I know the bus transportation one's coming up, but yeah, those sort of videos are pulled. Not a lot, but every now and then.
I know they're pulled. I just didn't know
Yeah.
that they would be part of a personnel record. Okay.
Okay, we're going to pull that. Let's go to policy ECACB, unmanned aircraft systems, UAS, aka drones. Any issues?
Nothing stood out to me.
Nothing on this one. We get a motion then?
Excuse me.
I move policy ECACB to the board for approval.
We have a second.
I second that.
Marcus,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Move to policy ECD, traffic and parking controls. Any issues on this?
No.
Okay, we get a motion.
I move to push policy ECD, traffic and parking controls, to the board for adoption.
We have a second.
Second?
Kimberly,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
and I'm a yes.
Just
Move
to
to
clarify,
policy.
question, is that for adoption or for approval? Are they re-adopting it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe we're re-adopting it without any changes.
Okay.
Move to policy EDC, KGF, authorized use of district equipment and materials.
Nothing.
No issues?
Mm-mm.
Get a motion?
I move for policy EDC KGF to the board for approval.
We have a second.
I'll second that.
Marcus,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Move to policy KGF EDC, authorized use of district equipment and materials.
Wasn't that the same thing?
Pretty much.
I mean,
Same exact ORSs and
Mm-hmm.
these Yeah, same thing. We had that on another one too. I don't know why maybe Joel, you can help us, why we have two
Yeah,
policies.
and Anna, my guess is the E's have to do with
Yeah,
some stuff for staff maybe, and K's are community related
Super.
policies, so they kind of cross-reference.
That makes sense.
okay. I'll buy that.
Yeah. I
We
think-
have a motion.
Go ahead.
Marcus, are you still on that page?
Yeah,
Can you just
yeah.
do the-
I move for policy KGF EDC to the board for approval.
We have a second.
I second that.
Marcus,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Move to policy EEA, student transportation services and mileage reimbursement.
Okay, so all I wrote was the first sentence and then I wrote ugh. It makes I read it so many times and I was like, this can't just be one sentence.
And I wrote problem on this and now I can't find the problem.
I think it's that whole first sentence.
Oh, I did find the problem. Here we go. Could not find OAR 581053053. So we have an UG.
I I had a problem too on, I think it was line 31. Not a problem, just a question of it. I don't know if I'm not understanding it right. A person who weighs 40 pounds or less must be properly secured with a child safety system. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that has to do with when you're driving in a type 10 vehicle or anything that is
Okay.
built to school bus standards.
Okay.
So transporting in a personal vehicle, the
Okay.
school buses, it doesn't pertain to that.
That's all I need to know, because I was
yeah.
like, I don't think we're buckling in
Yeah.
all kindergartners.
Somewhere in there it did say something about school buses not being.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody else have a problem with this first sentence though? And I don't even know how to fix it.
What if we just pulled it and had Lindsay take a look and
Yeah.
just there's a lot in there, and
Yeah.
I think using her expertise would be helpful.
And Lindsay, I was getting a little brain numb at this point, so you might just check that OAR to double check it.
Okay, yeah, no, I can double check everything, look through this. I do know, so I don't know if this is appropriate here at this time, but I know on line 11 of this, it says students living within specified attendance boundaries shall receive transportation services. So currently we are transporting students in all boundaries, no matter what, even though in policy JECC, I know we're not reviewing that, but it states any student that attends a school outside of their boundary zone, the parent's responsible for transportation. So I don't know, I guess I look at it one of two ways. We either need to adopt the policies to match what we're doing or adhere to the current existing policies. So maybe add in here, if we're going to continue on with what we're doing, add in here and also in policy JECC, modify it so it reflects what we're doing. The problem becomes with mileage reimbursement. If buses become overcrowded and having to add additional routes, then we don't get the reimbursement for the mileage for students that are getting transportation out of their electively choosing to go outside of their boundary zones.
So could we potentially pull this one and then have you look back and bring it back for a more in-depth discussion?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll move to policy EEAC, school bus safety program.
Yeah, I reviewed that and it all looks good. I don't see any changes that need to be made to it.
So on line 7, it says students who transported. It should say students who are transported.
And then here again, I could not find OAR 581-053, 0510, 053, 0520, and 053, 0530.
We can pull this one and I can look for those and find out
Okay.
what's going on with those.
All right. Pull that one. We'll move to policy EEACA, school bus driver examination and training.
All of that is correct. And I'll admit I did not go through the ORS here to take a look to look them up, but what I did read in lines 5 through 15, 16 there, it does match current laws and regulations for school bus driving and any driver certified through ODE.
Well, the good news is I did find all the OARs and ORSs on this policy. Should we have a motion on this one then?
Sure, I will move to push policy EEACA, school bus driver examination and training, to the board for adoption.
Do we
And
have
I'll
a second?
I'll second it.
A second.
Marcus.
Yes, I second.
Okay. Kimberly?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. We'll move to policy EEACC, student conduct on school buses.
I didn't see anything wrong with that. The only thing I saw, but it covers it, it said the superintendent may establish other administrative regulations as necessary for the safety conduct of students riding district school buses or other forms of district transportation. Such regulations will be available to all parents and students. So there's an additional 11 or 12 rules that are posted, but I believe that's in the student handbook that is available to all students and families that ride transportation.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I motion for policy EEACC to be pushed to the board for approval.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Marcus?
Yes.
Kimberly?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Move to administrative regulation EEACC-AR1.
Okay. So this is where I thought things got a little funky. Okay, so if you look at page 60, we've got the disciplinary procedures for violations, which sort of make every violation equal.
Which number is that, Kimberly?
So I'm
Do you
on
have
page 60, line 48.
Okay.
So then I'm going to jump clear to, bear with me for a second. I am jumping to the AR on page 66. So then if you look at like the first offense, so scroll down to the examples of consequences, like the first offense, second offense, third offense, and then fourth offense, I didn't think matched those steps up above. I like this chart a lot. So like, if you look at the first offense, it either could be a verbal warning, it could be if it's a level 2. So like there's levels of consequences there.
So you're on page, you're
60.
talking about page 66?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I wanted to get to that. That one is, it looks like it was revised March 13th of 2019. And when I got here, we were using this form. It's very similar. That was revised on December 30th of 2025.
Okay.
It's very similar, except it doesn't have the levels. I actually like this one better because down here it gets into severe issues, and I can email this form to all of you. But it's saying the district may immediately suspend or expel a student from district transportation services if a student engages in conduct that creates a severe disciplinary problem and or presents a safety hazard to any person. In addition, immediate suspension or expulsion may be imposed when a student engages in the following misconduct, regardless of the student's prior record of misconduct. And it goes on to list physical contact, including but not limited to fighting in which one or both parties sustain injuries, spitting on driver, rider, or passerby, verbal abuse, vulgar or obscene language or gestures, acts of defiance against a driver, rider, or passerby, interference with the bus operation, vandalism, lighting combustible materials, possession of weapons, sexual activity, consensual or harassment, possession or use of narcotics, tobacco, drugs, alcohol, or vape devices, giving a false name or false information upon request. I like this in the sense that it's not, it just gives, I feel, a little more freedom based on the offense. Whereas you got level 1, level 2, it's a little more, it could be missing some stuff there. So
Yeah.
so this one gets a
Pull
little
these
more
ones and
when
make
we,
sure they align.
what's that?
Is it make sense? We probably pull these ones, you
Yeah.
take a look at them and bring them back
Yeah.
and make sure they all align.
And I can email Tammy a copy of this so that she can issue it out to all of you to review and see if we want to replace this version here with the version that's on.
So I think we need to look at the administrative regulation that starts on page. So basically from page 59 all the way through page stand by. So 59 through
67.
67 all just need to be scrutinized.
Okay, we will put this one aside then.
Thanks.
For review. Move to CCA video cameras on transportation vehicles.
I just caught, I'm not sure on line 13, I believe it should be in space school. It looked like they were combined.
And then I could not find ORS 192.4202192.505 public records. Not found. And then I got referenced over to just the U.S. law, and it looks like there is 2025 revised and renumbered. So we'll need to take a look at that.
Pull it.
So if it's okay with everyone, we'll pull that one.
Yep.
And I believe we're on our last one, Administrative Regulation EEACCAAR1, video cameras on transportation vehicles, video cameras on transportation vehicles.
So line 17, there needs to be a period at the end after vehicles.
And again, we have the same issue. It references ORS 192.420 to 192.505, and those have been renumbered.
The other thing I found was that on line 37, it says request for viewing may be made, blah, 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 within 5 school days of the recording. But if you go up to line 20, it says video recordings will be stored for 3 days.
Nope, that's the problem.
Yeah,
Good catch.
thanks. And then number 3, some number 3, it must be, oh, viewing number 3. Okay, so line 49. It says a written log will be maintained, blah, blah, blah. And then it says, line 50, the vehicle and driver recorded and the signature of the viewer. Never had anybody have to sign anything before.
That was an interesting section that we'll want to make sure our procedures match what's in policy.
Yeah, and then if they do have to sign, there needs to be some sort of a form
Yeah,
then.
what they're signing.
So I did notice that and was not aware of that. So made a note to get that. What I believe I'll do is create a Google document and share it with administrators, seeing as they're most likely going to be the one to view. And anytime I'm sending a video, I will attach that Google document with the line that it needs to be acknowledged they viewed the video.
Perfect.
Okay. So we will put that aside. And thankfully, that was our last one. Upcoming policy committee meetings. Actually, this says September 14th. We do have one, don't we, next week,
August
I believe.
19th. Yeah.
And just for everybody's info, I may not be at that one. I'll be out hunting. Unless I get lucky, then I'll be back. I'll try to review the OARs and ORSs before I leave. And I'll leave notes with Tammy or Joel or somebody before I go. So there's I believe it's next Monday, is it not?
Yep.
Correct.
And that's
Yep, 21st.
Why
that
are
is
some of these in person and some of them on Zoom?
I can
that
speak to
meeting
that.
is at the district office, I believe.
The Zoom ones are the first brush where we go and we pull some and move some, and then the second one is when we're actually making the changes and the proposed changes. Just because there's more discussion on those ones.
Okay.
Okay, so the next ones are September 14th, virtual only, October 12th, virtual only, November 9th, virtual only, December 14th, virtual only, January 11th, virtual only, February 8th, virtual only, March 8th, virtual only, April 12th, virtual only. If there's no other questions, then we will adjourn this meeting. That's me slapping the tape.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.